Here we go. What's up, guys? How's it going out there in YouTube land? I need to shut off my fucking camera. I hate doing that shit. Alright, give me a second. I hate it when I do that shit. What the fuck?
Give it a second.
There we go. How's everybody doing tonight? Well, it's the go-home show for Raw, and I'm ready for it, just like unlike everybody else is. I just want WrestleMania to get over with. I've said it numerous times, and I'll continue to say it. This could be the worst. It could either be the worst WrestleMania ever, with the way they built it, or it could be okay. We'll see. I on the fence that it's going to be shitty.
A lot of us are.
We're going to find out what the big announcement for Stephanie is. She's going to make an announcement about the main event match. And we're hoping, and I'm hoping to God, that it is a title unification. It could be two. It could be one of three things. They could be pulling Charlotte. They could be pulling Charlotte from a match. I doubt it's happening, but that could happen. They're going to unify the titles, or they're going to give us a stupid fucking announcement that fucking Johnny reported or said on Friday. Now, keep that in mind, it wasn't Johnny that fucking had that idea. Before everybody fucking goes, well, Johnny said that? He doesn't say that kind of shit. Well, no shit, he doesn't say that kind of shit. He was hearing rumors and such. That's not going to happen. I hope that doesn't happen. The way that, if they do that, then why is Charlotte even in the match? Don't make it. Why did they put the title on Charlotte? It makes no sense. We will find out. Well, of course. I mean, everything should be built to something. If they're going to do something like this, something should be. And I think people misunderstand. I kind of get what Johnny's saying. People misunderstand what he says, and I'm defending Johnny here, and I don't do that very often because he can speak for himself, but I'm speaking for him now so much because he shouldn't have to fucking explain himself. He's not against the Four Horsewomen thing. He's not against them. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're not against them unifying the titles. The only thing that Johnny is concerned about is storytelling and building to something, which is what they should have done instead of just throwing it right at us right away, just to throw something at us. Because, see, I said it a couple of weeks ago, when they did what they did at Backlash, the story was over. There was nothing to add to the story. So they threw a curveball in there with Asuka losing to Charlotte last week, just to throw a curveball in there and get people fucking talking about the fucking feud, the match again.
Yeah. And, you know,
as special as what it could have been, because of the SmackDown title would be effectively completely devalued at that point.
Correct.
There would be no point of doing it that way.
Correct.
Hey, now, does that mean I don't want the Four Horsewomen storyline? Of course, it doesn't mean that. I've been one of the ones to say, hey, that's cool. Let's see what they can do with that. But if you're going to base it off of them having all the titles, this was the worst way you could have done it.
With no build.
With no build. And a diminished title. Now, if they unify the titles, again, I'm going to reiterate. Hey, I think that's the best outcome. However, I think if they were going to do that, this is how I would have done that. If they were going to unify the title, they should have had Charlotte face Asuka at Fastlane.
Okay.
And then have put the title on Charlotte. Now, granted, I'm not a fan of Asuka losing the belt as much as the next person. But if they're going to do that, then it does make sense for Charlotte to be in that match.
Mm-hmm. So
you have that do at Fastlane, and Vince wants to put her in, and then you add the stipulation that you're going to unify the titles.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a month-long build about this being the first ever women's main event. The title is becoming one. You know, it brings it, to me, it would have made it that much more of a special main event.
Correct.
This right now, if they do what we think they're going to do, this is only because, and I'm going to reiterate it, this is only because the argument that Charlotte had no business being in this match was working. That is the only reason this is happening.
Say that again. I didn't catch that. Sorry.
The reason why it works is because Charlotte had no business being in this match.
And the argument for that was working. I mean, even, I don't agree that they did this. I think it was messed up, but it does play into the point. On ESPN, they had her daughter of Hall of Famer Ric Flair. That was messed up, but it does give validity to the point that Charlotte had no business being in this match.
Let's keep it. I'm going to say this, but let's keep in mind that was ESPN that did that, not the WWE. That's where I kind of disagree with you, because the WWE is a bunch of fucking idiots anyway, or ESPN is a bunch of fucking idiots anyway.
No, you were right.
So was I? I thought I said WWE.
You did.
Well, no, I don't think I'm pretty sure if WWE was writing that and they said, what do you want us to put down as a tagline under there? Put her down as the most decorated woman of the modern era, or whatever. The 7-time world champion, or whatever. I wouldn't have put down daughter of Ric Flair. Here's the reason why the ESPN did that. Because everybody knows who Ric Flair is. Not everybody knows who Charlotte Flair is.
Right.
So I'm telling you right now, with them doing that, I guarantee it gets more views. They're going to get more viewers. Oh, well, I might actually check that out.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. But again, I mean, the ESPN, and regardless of ESPN, the fact still remains that the argument against Charlotte was working, because nobody cared up until she won the title. Nobody was talking about Charlotte at all. She was an afterthought.
I mean, there's few people out there. I mean, I would look on my Twitter feed, and there would be people out there talking about Charlotte. I didn't, because, and Johnny, I know you like, well, this is why I don't think Charlotte, you should have been in the match. The point, the argument, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The argument was about Becky and Ronda arguing back and forth. It wasn't about the feud, it's the match or anything itself. It was about them two talking back and forth on Twitter. Charlotte doesn't talk shit on Twitter. She does most of her talking either in the ring or on the microphone. So that's why I wasn't throwing Charlotte into that. Now, I for sure would have fucking thrown her in there if the conversation would have gone that way. But I'm not going to throw that in there. I was trying to get my point across between Becky and Ronda, and my point was the feud is not working because of what they're doing on Twitter. It had nothing to do with Charlotte, with what I was trying to say. This is why the feud doesn't work for me. And I was going to actually add in there, and this is probably why they added Charlotte to that match.
Well, I was thinking along the lines, if WWE was looking at making the women's the main event at WrestleMania, that they weren't going to do it without Charlotte being in it.
Well, see, ultimately, and we started saying this as soon as Ronda Rousey showed up at Royal Rumble last year. I said it. Don't mark my words. Charlotte Flair, no matter who it is or what it is, she will be in the main event. If they're going to main event, Charlotte Flair will be part of that.
Right, and I think all intentions may have been Charlotte and Ronda. But because of the momentum that Becky was gaining, they thought, okay, we're going to throw her into the mix, realizing, okay, now we could have the triple threat, and it just wasn't planned out accordingly.
Well, I think it's funny, realistically, I've been really thinking about it here the past couple of days, and this is what I think it ultimately is. I don't think people necessarily give a shit whether it's Charlotte or Becky facing Ronda. I think where people are really upset about this is that this is the first time and it's not a singles match.
Right.
And I think that's realistically what the issue is.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead and finish.
And I think that's a lot of the issue is that we wanted, realistically, I think the fans really wanted a singles match.
I mean, I cannot disagree with that, but I ultimately think it would have been had Becky not gotten momentum. I can almost guarantee you Charlotte was winning the Royal Rumble.
Oh, I agree. I do agree.
And that's the way it was going, and Becky just had so much fucking momentum that she was that over, and they were trying to do that whole change thing, and they threw Becky right in. So everybody's sitting there saying Becky deserves what she's getting. You're right. But again, it all comes back. Is she not being thrown, just put her in the match just because of her getting over? Just because you're over. I mean, God damn it. Let's look at last year. Who was one of the most over superstars and was not getting anything?
Shinsuke?
Well, besides him.
Rusev?
Prime example.
Yeah, Rusev.
Prime example.
Right, but this also leads back to what they are also told the fans. We're going to make you the authority. And they started listening to the fans with the Becky stuff.
That's what I'm getting at. Since they started doing this now, keep in mind, they did this 5 years ago.
Yep.
It's going to come back, and Johnny's right. It's going to come back, and it's going to bite him in the ass, and I'm going to do nothing but sit there and say, I fucking told you so.
Yep, I'll be the... This is my thing. And again, I go back to what I said, is this 4 horsewoman thing, it may be... It's a cool idea, but I guarantee you, you better pray to God, because effectively, no matter which way they go with this tonight, whether they announce they're unifying the titles or it's that fucked off shit that I heard about, your 4 horsewomen idea doesn't hold up.
So if they do, and I'm just going to say this, I'm going to make a bold prediction. Now, we're not going to do a prediction show, so we're probably going to do it right after SmackDown, because we're actually going to be streaming on Bobbitt's channel. We are doing NXT TakeOver. So we'll be giving our predictions for NXT TakeOver. Probably during the match, like I'm picking, I don't even know who's all in the matches. We have Gino. Hopefully she'll be here. Not tonight. I know she won't be here tonight. She's got a sick one at home.
And we hope she gets better.
And yes, we do.
Yep, wishing her well.
Bella, if you're listening, I hope you get better.
All I know is I'm going with Adam Cole.
Ronnie.
He's my Jimmy Johnson.
Just for that, I'm hoping Johnny Gargano wins. You and that fucking Jimmy Johnson thing too. You're like, I love you, Sarah. I love you, Sarah. But you're just like Sarah Small and the fucking Colts. She always picks the fucking Colts. I know you love them. I love the Packers, but I don't always pick them. I use my brain, not my heart.
How good he got fifth, and then my dark horse came in second.
But anyway, back on topic. So we're gonna be doing NXT TakeOver. So probably after. So Bobbitt, make sure that you have all the lineup card. Hopefully Gino will be with us. Either that or we'll ask her who she's picking.
Good God, you're a robot.
It's all right. He knows. So where was I going with this? I forgot what I was doing. Oh, I'm making the bold prediction. If Stephanie comes out and says and gives us what Johnny gave us on Friday, they're all the 4 horsewomen are going to have the titles. Period.
Yep.
If they don't do that and they do unify the titles, I'm going with either Charlotte or Ronda. Reason being, I would much, and I hate to say this, they fucked this up from the get-go with Becky. They need to have her chase. Because she hasn't had to chase. Really, to be honest with you, she was a champion. She lost to Asuka. She hasn't been chasing Ronda. She just wants to have a fucking match with her. She hasn't been chasing Ronda Rousey. Because she didn't lose to Ronda Rousey.
I am going to make the argument that I think Ronda needs it. If they do the unification, I think Ronda needs it more than Charlotte.
I ultimately think that Ronda Rousey's going to retain. Now, that being said, the video out there today, if you didn't watch it, I think it was an April Fool's joke, which was, if you have not seen it, Ronda Rousey made a video on her future after WrestleMania. And my God, was it funny. Stay out of my sax life. That's all she's got.
Paul Heyman. I fucking died when when he told me that she was a sax addict. I was like, oh yeah, this is great. And I didn't know he meant a sax addict. I just fucking died.
Right. And again, Sarah, I just use you because, and I'm not saying, and there's nothing wrong with picking your favorite team all the time. I get it. I was more picking on Ronnie and using you as an example. Just because she fucking, the show, 1 lap to go. I'm picking Jimmy Johnson. Every fucking week. Jimmy Johnson. Going with Jimmy Johnson. My dark horse is going to be whoever the second best driver is. But anyway. So,
she likes Jimmy Johnston.
Shut up. Epic fail.
Jimmy Johansson.
That was not an epic fail. That was a very good play on words.
Johnston?
Johnson's Johnston.
Johnson's Johnson.
Basically his penis.
I know what it is. I know what a Johnson is. But a Johnston is not a penis.
Oh my God.
Well, I can't root for Danica anymore.
You can't root for Danica? I actually like Danica Patrick. I actually like her. But whatever.
Whatever happened to her?
She retired.
She retired. I think she's looking to do broadcasting and she's doing clothing line.
Yeah.
I'm going to shut up.
You can see her on QVC with her clothing line. We'll say that.
Fuck, we had to go there, didn't we? God damn it.
You let Ronnie talk. That's where it's gonna go.
Fuck. The mic stinks? You mean the mic that you always fart on, Bobbit?
I think he's finally gassed it out.
He may have. But back to back to what we're saying. Again, Rusev was getting that push. He was the most over superstar, and WWE did not want him to be anywhere near the title. They did give him that one title shot, but you knew he wasn't going to fucking win.
No, it just...
So, and that's where I'm going with this. Just because the WWE says they're changing shit doesn't mean they are. Some of the things that they have done, like the last couple of weeks, Raw has sucked. Well, let me rephrase that. The first hour of Raw 2 weeks ago was fucking terrible. And then the last 2 hours were actually pretty good. Last week, we started out with the segment that we got, and it just was complete shit. It didn't fucking gain any momentum at all. So I know that we're getting a six-woman tag team match between the Riott Squad and the three competitors in the main event match. And watch. That'll be the last time you see them. There's no build to that match. There's no build to that main event. You're going to see them at the beginning. They're going to do the match. The first 15 minutes, that's the end. You will not see them the rest of the fucking night.
I think it might be the main event of Raw tonight.
Well, either way, you're not going to see that until the very end.
Yeah,
I think they should. Look, my thing is, they're
out of it.
My thing is I said it last week. They need to build the fucking show around them three. Because you are doing them a disservice by having them in the main fucking event and you only have them on for 15 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
At the very beginning of the show.
At the very beginning of the show or at the very end. You're doing them a disservice. If you want, the main event should put butts in the fucking seats. And if you're just going to do it off of the name alone, that's fine. But just because you put Ronda Rousey in there, you can sell more seats by fucking building the feud around, building the show around them three. That's what I would do. I would have done this week what they did last week. And I would have had fucking Becky screw over Ronda Rousey by not letting her beat her time. Ronda Rousey should not have gone first. The order was fucked up.
Yes. The champion should have gone last.
Charlotte should have gone first. Becky should have gone second. Beat that time. And then Ronda Rousey
Just could have squashed them all.
or Becky Lynch could have fucking interfered and stopped her from breaking the record. If that makes sense.
And you could have even had I mean, if we're doing this perfectly, you could have had this as some heavy stipulations involved.
No, I would have done beat the clock. This week. I wouldn't have done it last week. I would have done the 6-man tag match last week.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then done the fucking beat the clock. But does it have to be the Riott Squad? Why isn't Riott Squad being used for this?
Because there's only heels on Raw.
That's true. Well, no.
They're cannon fodder.
God damn, you could have fucking used. I mean, fucking Charlotte and Ronda are kind of the heels in this whole fucking storyline. You could have fucking used Natty for one of them. You could have used fucking Bayley or Sasha for. I mean, fuck, their fucking storyline is null and void. I could give two fucking shits about the fucking tag team titles. I really could. They're fucking worthless, and I called it. They're a fucking worthless fucking title. They just give the women. And I'm not being fucking a chauvinistic pig here. I've said it numerous times. Do the women deserve stuff like that? Yes. Is it needed? No. Because it doesn't add anything to the fucking show.
If anything, it diminished their fucking...
And Heather just said it. If anything, it diminishes.
Yeah.
Look at what happened last week. It seemed like the women's tag team segment got more time than the Becky, Charlotte, Ronda fucking segment. You can't fucking tell me that tag team division is adding anything to the women's division. You can't. Sorry.
No, and
Heather just
as
said it.
a woman, that whole division, it's not just Raw, it's SmackDown too. I mean, there was nobody for Asuka.
Exactly.
I mean, that whole SmackDown roster, Naomi, even with her tweet, which she was upset with it. It's just, there was nobody built towards Asuka because there was nobody that was in contention for her. And then who you got left on Raw, you've got Dana Brooke, who you saw for a couple weeks, got squashed by Ronda, trying to make herself look important by being out there. You no longer have Alicia Fox, who's probably gone. You have Natty. You have a Lacey Evans walking up and down on both shows. And they have lost Nikki Cross. She's in the back somewhere. And Ember Moon, of course, is hurt. And that would have been a logical opponent for Asuka if she wasn't hurt.
I think let's keep this in mind. I think if Ember Moon had to have gotten hurt because she was being pushed, even though it seemed like she wasn't.
Yeah.
That when she got hurt, that kind of hurt some of what they were trying to do. Because I guarantee it. You probably would have seen Ember Moon and Asuka
at WrestleMania. Yeah.
And she might have even been in the final two. Now, not Becky. So, just saying, people. Becky got shoved into the spotlight. She was over. But just because she's over, and the whole storyline, you know how fucking WWE is. Everybody knows how WWE is. Just because it look at what they did to Shinsuke. I mean, Jesus Christ, they pushed him to the fucking moon, and then they fucking did what they did to him.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're pushing somebody to the moon doesn't mean they're gonna fucking win the title.
And here's the other thing about that you know what I actually heard about that the other day?
What's that?
Is that effectively the word is backstage is he's checked out. He's just there collecting a check now.
Of course he is. He said that as soon as he lost to fucking Jinder Mahal.
Mm-hmm.
Or as soon as he had that match with AJ Styles. He's done it all. I mean, he's 38 years old. He's not going to go anywhere.
Mm-mm.
It's not that. Wouldn't I check out too? If Vince comes to you and says, well, "This is as far as you're going to get, buddy," why would you want to even? I'd just sit back and collect a check. Fuck it. Sorry.
And that's what most of them were doing because they weren't being utilized and they weren't being pushed, or you were using the same ones in the main events. And I mean, I don't blame him at this point if that's his feeling on it. But now you also got to keep in the back of the mind that you now have got where AEW is approaching, or AEW is looking at people on the roster too, and now they have an option. So it's like, okay, do we try to retain this talent and use them and utilize them in storylines, or do we just say, okay, here's your paycheck at the end of your contract. We wish you best on your future endeavors.
Right.
And that's the sad feeling with a lot of these guys, I guess, sitting back there, and even ones that just walked away and said, buy my contract out, or I'm not re-signing, or in like with the case with Dean Ambrose, we still don't know what he's planning on doing.
I think he's done.
I don't think he's coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's not booked with anything, and I know he's not even with the WrestleMania, but just how he went out with that match. And I know a lot of people don't watch Impact, but I had sent a message that they killed off Allie on Friday. So they kind of did that whole storyline with her and Rosemary in that dark realm, but they kind of gave her a send-off with how they did their storyline because she is leaving. So it's like, okay, that kind of shows like, okay, Impact cares somewhat of their talent, that they're willing to do that to finish that storyline. And Rosemary's probably going to continue with everybody else down the road. But it was nice to see that kind of ending opposed to what we got last week with Dean Ambrose.
Yes.
If that's his last match.
I don't know if it's his last match, but I don't know if he'll be at WrestleMania. I know John Cena, I've heard that he will possibly be at WrestleMania, but it probably won't be against Kurt Angle. I'm hoping that's not true. They're still going with the Baron Corbin thing. I'm sorry. I still say keep that match, but then add to it, if anything.
All right, here we go. Let's find out what they're gonna.
Shit.
See, I got cable back again.
Yeah.
So now I'm up there with you guys.
Yeah. Still getting booed because she sucks. Can you talk like a woman? Oh, shit! No, she's not doing it.
April Fools.
Yeah, she's... She did.
What do you want?
There it is. All titles will be on the line.
Wendy.
Thank you. So there it is. Just...
I'm a little bit behind, so.
Oh, no. There it is. Winner take all.
Thank God that's all she had to say.
Winner take all. Whoever wins walks away with both. So there you go. Thoughts? Be gone, thought. I'm just kidding. Thoughts? Oh, wait. Brock Lesnar's coming.
Okay, I'm happy.
So am I. Winner take all. There you go.
Yep.
That just tells me that they could add a mid-card title, which I'm okay with. But we'll talk about that here at the next commercial break.
Now they can start telling the story of unifying the titles.
I wish they would have fucking done it a month ago.
I know, but you know what? Better late than never.
It's true. Now they have to really. They do have to. They do have tomorrow's show too.
Exactly. You're not hungry. You don't want Jeffrey. What do you want? You have a clean butt.
Kid's angry today.
You want to do more Tommy time? Actually, no. He can start screaming. You're just fighting sleep. You're just fighting sleep. Baby girl. Wendy. Wendy, stop. Just stop. Enough.
Back to our normal Mondays.
You better eat. You better eat. You better eat.
Mom's in a bad mood today.
I'm tired of offering her everything and her not wanting anything.
I'm just seeing if she can see me. She might want to see me. Hi. Be quiet. It's fine. What are you doing? What? What do you want?
You want daddy? You want some daddy time? Is that the problem? You want some daddy time? Let's see. You want some daddy time? Or do you want some camera time?
You want some camera time, of course.
Come on.
There. Is that better?
There's that beautiful little girl.
She's not being so beautiful right now. She is, like, you can hear her, I'm sure. What are you doing? There we go. Is that better? What? I don't think that's true. Can you say hi?
Hi, Wendy.
Can you say hi?
Yeah, little rosy cheeks.
Yeah, I think she's got a little touch of fever.
Yeah.
Have you taken her temperature today?
I have not. Top one. Bottom one.
98.
I don't know then, baby girl. Maybe you just got a little warm.
Be right back.
Yep.
There's plenty you can do about it.
Kicked him right in the fucking nuts.
Yes, it did.
Wow, that was a hell of a suplex. This is where this story is leading. You know Seth's not winning.
Right. Brock's retaining.
Of course Brock's retaining. I think I said Brock was retaining.
Yeah, but that just cemented it.
Now they could swerve us because every other time Brock has gone over. This is the first time he has not.
Well, if you think about it too, if they're looking to do something with Kofi and Daniel Bryan, and then with the women, with that being one big, all titles on the line, they might just have him retain it for that too. That would be one that somebody does retain it.
They could do it. Wrestle Kingdom did. None of you seen Wrestle Kingdom. They changed all eight titles, I think, 8 or 9 titles.
Now when they did that,
they changed every single title that night. And a lot of that had to do with the Bullet Club leaving. A lot of the Bullet Club members were leaving, so
yeah. I still think Brock's going to be at Saudi, and I think he's going to retain it and drop it there.
I see here again. I get what you're saying, Ronnie, but they do not change titles. They did last year for the SmackDown title, but that was the first time ever. If they're gonna do that once a year, it's too fucking predictable. I don't see them changing the title. It's either gonna change at WrestleMania, or Brock Lesnar is going to retain. If Brock Lesnar wins, he's not losing the title at Saudi Arabia. He'll lose it somewhere. I just don't see them changing the title of Saudi Arabia. I don't see them doing that. I could be wrong, but they don't change the title overseas ever.
Yeah, my feeling is that he's gonna drop it to Roman, and this is gonna build towards, because Roman with being against Drew, they're gonna build him back up. But
I don't think Roman's winning.
Even with like I just put to Alpha, his schedule is with employees now at WWE on a need-to-know basis, and Dana White, with his, it wasn't this past week, but the week before, isn't ready for Brock till July or after, because he's trying to book him against Cormier. And that was with his week before press conference, because he's already got Jones booked for July with a big match against Stipe. He was hoping he could get a double main event with Cormier and Brock, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
No.
So that's why he's not going to need Brock till summer, July or after.
I don't think they're changing the title at Saudi Arabia. I just don't see them doing it. 2 weeks is a superstar shakeup. When did they announce that they were doing a superstar shakeup?
Just now.
Did they? I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, let's talk about the Ronda Rousey, or the match that they just announced, or the women's main event. So everybody was speculating and saying, oh, they're gonna. So why society? And yes, I'm throwing that out there. There you go. There's your answer. They are not going to have Becky, Ronda, Sasha Banks, and Bayley hold all the titles. It's going to be one or the other, which just tells me one thing: Ronda or Charlotte is winning. Becky is not winning.
Yeah, my feeling from the beginning has been Charlotte was going to walk out with it, whatever title was on the line that night.
So again, I say, here's the reason why. I'm sorry. Yes, Becky has had to climb and claw, but has she really? Has she really? I mean, she's been given match after match after match. She was thrown into the Royal Rumble, begged to get in there at 30. They gave her that. They suspended her. They gave her the match. Ronda Rousey, you know where I'm going with this. So for people to sit there and say that Becky has had to scratch, she hasn't really had to do that this WrestleMania season. She's been handed shots. So I didn't say anything about predictable. I just said I don't see it changing hands. I don't get where you're going with that. And the Cruiserweight, that was in Australia. That wasn't in... I'm talking major titles. I'm not talking mid-card titles. I'm talking major titles. And I think that's... That right there, Sarah, is probably why you will only see one title change hands at WrestleMania. Just because they're investing all this into Kofi Kingston. I think he's going to be the only one that wins, or one of the only major title change.
Right.
Because telling you right now, they've told the Kofi Kingston story 10 times better than they've told this main event women's feud. So this is a 8-woman tag match.
Yep.
We're going to get nothing but tag team matches tonight, from what I'm hearing. Hi, baby girl. Are you looking at me? Are you hungry? Are you hungry? What? So they have. These are all the women in the
tag team match
in the WrestleMania. It's a fatal 4-way. All right. I think they should do a fatal 4-way elimination instead of a fatal 4-way. This match could last for fucking ever. All right. You need to either sit still or you're going to have to go back to mom. Yeah, I know. It's been busy for you, Tony. I actually came home from work today. I was not feeling the greatest. I actually came home and as soon as I got home, I actually laid down with the family and went to sleep for a couple hours.
Her looking up at you and smiling is adorable.
Yeah.
Got that like little crook in her side with that one lip. It's so cute.
Oh, why did you just slap me? That was me. I did that. Mom. Look at me, Mom. Come get me.
Yeah, hold on.
You're fine. Say bye to everybody. I might be back later, especially if Mom is having issues still. Look at me go. Look at me go. Oh, glorious.
You done with camera time now? Yeah. You want to sit in your chair? Huh? You want to sit in your chair?
We are actually again. We are streaming NXT TakeOver, but we will be streaming it over on Bobbitt's channel. He asked if we could, because I said sure, why not? So, if you are not subscribed to Foulmouth Mike Bobbitt's channel, and the link is the link, you can go ahead and put the link to your channel in there, Bobbitt. Go ahead and subscribe, and we will be doing NXT TakeOver on Friday, which is usually where we do This Week in Wrestling, where we had one of the best shows, if not the best show we've ever had on This Week in Wrestling. I said it to these guys. I think it was one of the best shows we've ever had. It's a great conversation about ultimately what happened tonight at the beginning of the show. We talked, what was it, like an hour? We talked about what they were doing with the women's titles.
Yep.
One of the best shows I think that we have ever done. It was discussion, kind of the idea that I wanted the show to be in the first place. Yes, throw news out there, but then let's discuss it. One of the best shows we've ever done. So go ahead and subscribe to his channel, and we will we'll be doing TakeOver on Friday. Just so everybody knows. What's up, Big Slow? How's it going, man? How is it going? So again, I want to get everybody. I know I gave my thoughts on the what they decided to do with the women's title. Now we again, like I said, we talked about this ad litem for like an hour over on Bobbitt's channel. I'd like to get everybody's thoughts on. I don't care about the fucking Brock Lesnar thing. I just want to talk about the titles. What they're doing with the women's titles. I'm gonna start with, and I'm gonna go with Johnny last. I'm going to start with Ronnie. So when work clockwise, as you can see it on your screen, Bobbit, you'll go next. Trek, you'll go third. Johnny, you'll go last. Go ahead, Ronnie.
Yeah, with the women, my feeling from the beginning is with Charlotte. I was picking Charlotte to win whatever belt was on the line. With them doing this, if that's what they're looking to do, is unify them. Or like Heather said a little bit ago, if they're looking to unify them and then maybe have a mid-card title for the women, something along those lines, that's going to get all these women invested, and then have them go between the shows if need be, because the roster itself is just so depleted with everybody and anybody. The talent that they have the talent. It's just they need to use the talent.
That's true.
And with Ronda looking at possibly leaving for a bit on a hiatus, it's going to give at least Charlotte, Becky that chance with feuding down the line. You can add Asuka into that. Start bringing in the Nikki Cross. Start pushing with Mandy Rose like they were going to. Get her some exposure in the ring. You've got Ruby Riott. You've got the talent. Use them. And I know a lot of people, even with Nia and Tamina, it's just they've used them before, but it's talent that they need to start using in the ring, especially the ones that are sitting in the back because of the four that they keep pushing. And even with Bayley and Sasha, if they end up dropping them with the titles, you then have Sasha, Charlotte. If she wins, you have Sasha, Becky. You could have Sasha and Ronda if she retains. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's something that needs to be done, I think, but it's just a matter of if they do it, start using the talent. Don't start like you're doing with the men, just using certain women. Just try to use them all at some capacity.
Well, the only reason I say a women's mid-card is there is enough women to do that. However, I can understand why people would say that too many titles. I get it. This is the problem WWE has, though, and they need to unify the titles. There's not enough women to have a tag team division and 2 main titles. Because ultimately, with the 2 main titles, you're only having 8 people essentially being pushed at a time. Because I'm sorry, and this is nothing against the women, there's a lot of women that are just not very good in this division still.
Sarah Logan.
Hey. She's the next Nikki Bella.
No, she's not. Nikki Bella is better than Sarah Logan.
That was shit.
No, it's not. It's the truth.
No, I was talking about what just happened on TV.
She's better at self-promoting herself. But no, I mean, I understand. I mean, it's even with the men. You got your United States Championship. You got your Intercontinental. If they had tag teams that they could actually put as tag teams.
Well, here's the thing with that, Ronnie. You got to remember they have how many men on the roster?
Yeah, I know it's more male dominant with the titles.
And that's why there's that many titles for the men.
Right, but if they're going to unify and do something like with the tag team now, you're having Sasha and Bayley go to SmackDown. You're having them go to NXT because of the women that are on the rosters now. And you could do the same with the main title. You could do something the same with the mid-card title. You could have that champion even with pay-per-views. If it's a Raw champion that's holding it, a Raw talent, have them go against a SmackDown talent, or if it's a SmackDown talent that has it, have them go against a Raw talent. just have the women go between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, they're doing that now anyway. And then, of course, come October, you're going to have SmackDown premiering on Fox.
Right.
Whether that's 2 hours, 3 hours. I know there's been talks of possibly being 3 hours, 2 hours on regular Fox.
Yeah, there's speculation that they're going to 3 hours on
Right.
SmackDown.
And then, so you're going to have 2 3-hour shows that the women can intermingle between the two shows and then include NXT if need be. But
I don't think they're doing the NXT thing.
Yeah, but it's something that needs to be done because of 2 titles. And like I said before, it's just that there was no talent that at this point with being built could have faced Asuka at this juncture for WrestleMania. But it would at least give them the opportunity with the one belt, depending upon what they do with it, start using the talent and pushing the talent that is being sitting on the sidelines and sitting in the back playing Nerf ball.
Right. Anything else to add to that, Ronnie?
No, that's it.
Bobbitt, if you can go ahead. And if you can't go,
to give my opinion, I think if I'm the best of the guys, give Alexa Bliss more trouble to.
thank God we couldn't understand anything he said. All I caught was Alexa Bliss.
That's all I
You should have known
caught.
better than to go to him. He's not allowed to speak anymore. Trek tells more fascinating jokes than him.
Trek.
You know, I agree with you guys, and I could see them doing a mid-card title for the women. I think that'd be cool. There should have never been it should have been from the beginning one champion that floats across both brands. It shouldn't have been 2 champions. There's not a deep enough roster to do that. They dropped the ball on that. It should have been like Bruce Pritchard originally said, it was going to be one women's champion in the original draft, and that was going to be it.
Yep.
In the original brand extension, that was going to be it. That's what they should have done the first time. Now they're in panic mode because they introduced these tag team titles, and now that thinned it out even more. Now they have to combine the 2 titles.
Well, and there is a report out there, and I'm starting to believe it, that Vince McMahon was pressured into fucking doing this. And you can blame 2 other fucking people.
Stephanie and Triple H?
Nope. Who are the tag team champions right now?
Not surprised.
Sasha and Bailey went to Vince and cried every fucking day saying, we want. We think it's fair that.
Then he should have showed them the fucking videos of Wendy Rickard and Grable.
Again, there's more talent. They're more talented today than they were back then, but that is ultimately the report going around. So with the tag team titles, they didn't force them to do anything. It's Vince booked himself in a corner here. Yep. And I think he's trying to prove a point to the women that, hey, just because the men do it doesn't mean the women have to do it. Do you deserve it? Yes. It's not needed, though. It's not. Right. I'm sorry, women. Sorry, girls. It's honestly, it's not needed. Everything was fine the way it was, and this is why the brand split. This is what you get when you add tag team titles 2 months before a WrestleMania event. Not enough women to fucking have a tag team division. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. There's not. Johnny?
Like I said, I wish they would have built it. But I mean, that's what we thought we were going to do.
Yep.
And I still stand by everything I was saying.
I get it.
It is that they've effectively buried half of the division. Like I said, I'd rather have Attitude Era women at this point.
Agreed.
I'm dead serious.
Wait, what did you say? You kind of cut out there. You were
I
dead
said
serious.
I'm dead serious. I know that sounds bad of me, but
What?
I'd rather take all the bullshit that came with the Attitude Era than this.
Okay.
Well, the other thing too with that is, I mean, they put these teams together. They threw them together last minute. I mean, it was not something thought out enough too, but they didn't give them a chance to see how they worked.
Right.
And then they split them back up again. So it's like, okay, at that point, the only ones they've really kept together have been Nia and Tamina. And it's just like, I mean, nobody wants to see them with it, but you got the Iconics that have been tag teams since they brought him up. But everybody else was just kind of thrown together for that tournament. So it was kind of like a given who was going to retain with those or win those for the first time in that.
Right. I'm sorry, I'm reading. Okay. Never mind. Not even gonna try. So I don't know. With the announcement that they made, it didn't make, and they didn't give just the women that one quick segment. What? Okay, Wendy, I get the point. Every time I open my mouth. With what happened just a few minutes ago.
Wendy.
With what happened with the tag team. With what happened with the tag team stuff tonight, this is what they should. I quit. But it's not you.
You ready? You ready? Wow. Wow. Go ahead. Try again.
Hold on a second. Can you hear me? I said I tried to hang it back to give it some more. What? That makes no sense, Bobbit. Oh, Batista.
Oh, there goes the mouse.
He's in his hometown. Every time I open my mouth. Shut up!
She's giving her opinion too. You keep skipping her.
She's too young.
Would you rather hear Wendy's opinion or Bobbit talking about Alexa?
I'd rather hear Bob. No, I'd rather hear Wendy fucking yell. Because I don't think his opinion is real. I think he's just doing it to be a troll. Yeah, I said it.
Fly, baby, fly.
I'm getting all these calls now. Ever since I went and checked my credit report. If you want to talk to me, leave a fucking message. Can't recognize, I'm not gonna fucking answer. I'm gonna put down as my fucking voicemail thing. If you are a telemarketer, fucking leave a message. If you leave a message, I will call you back. If you don't, I'm not calling you back. Dumbasses.
You peed your pants again, I did. You peed your pants again. Yes, you did. I could hear that.
Batista. Gonna put me to sleep. Really? And that's the build you get to WrestleMania for that match. And he said, Triple H or Hunter, kiss my ass. That's all he said. That's it. This feud, I tell you, man, not even worth the paper it's written on. Give me a reason to want to watch this match. I'm not
This match,
seeing
there
it.
is no reason to watch it.
No, it's not, Bobby.
Did you guys know this? They're not saying it's a match anymore.
Then what is it?
For tonight, it's just gonna be him saying goodbye, I guess, because he was supposed to face Ray tonight. They're not even mentioning it.
Maybe Ray. No, he's not. Never mind. I was gonna say maybe he's taking Ray at WrestleMania. That's not true. No, I'm not gonna give it a chance. That may be Harushi and Chu, but I still don't give a fuck about the match. I don't care.
Bob, but you remember what happened when we gave Undertaker and John Cena a chance?
I'm just not even gonna say anything. I'm gonna say a word. Well, that might happen. Trying to think here. What else? What has happened in the last 24 hours or 48 hours or last week, or last 72 hours, I should say, with WWE news?
Not that anything that's really important.
Oh, I did see that Kenny Omega lost to Don Callis clean in the middle of the ring. I don't know why, but it's a good start for AEW, isn't it? Anyway, I did see that. Just thought I'd throw that out there. I'm not throwing a pot shot. I'm not throwing a pot shot. I'm just saying that actually happened.
The only thing I saw, Vince McMahon wishing Randy Orton a happy birthday.
Fucking cares.
Well, he wanted news.
I mean, something that's newsworthy. And don't fucking give me, well, John Cena's dating somebody else. I don't give a fuck.
Well, with the rumors of him being at WrestleMania, I mean, the speculation is Lars Sullivan from Triple H's press conference is coming back.
I heard that. John Oliver made fun of Mania. Cares?
Can I say something about that?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't really care, but go ahead.
No, not the John Oliver thing.
About what?
The thing with Lars Sullivan.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit bullshit that people have been giving him shit that he wasn't able to come because of his medical condition. I thought we were supposed to separate the guy from the character.
Separate the what? Say it again.
The guy from the character.
We are.
I'm not saying that we do that, but you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people that do.
I do. I get it. Yeah, John Oliver, he's a liberal punk. I don't give a fuck.
I really got to show up now because I have a plan. I have a plan for the liberals.
I'm starting to not want to walk with Elias anymore because I really give a shit.
I'm going to be dead honest with you. I am right there with you.
I do not give.
And that's coming from somebody that was a big fan of Elias.
I actually was starting to like Elias. They were starting to use him, and then they kept doing the same fucking... I'm done with him. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. The only thing he's there is to get the crowd riled up. That's it. He's not there to fucking wrestle. Whatever. Fuck Elias. The fuck is this? A lumberjack match? How much you want to bet they all get in the fucking ring and start fighting? You want to bet me? Anybody? Nobody? All right.
Yeah, nobody cares about this.
I'm with you.
So far for this being a go-home show, this is just piss poor.
I was just gonna say, I keep forgetting. I kind of figured. You almost had me, fucker.
Until he mentioned Tommy, I was like, yeah, you're a fucking idiot.
I didn't say that.
Oh my god, Renee had a funny.
Trek didn't make it funny. Cody did.
No, Renee. Yes, she did. She goes, you did not hear her?
No.
She goes, you're going to have to give that guy Michael Cole's singlet. That was actually pretty good. That was actually pretty funny.
You do what you want to do, Arishinshu. If you want to give all your money to a fat walrus, then go ahead. I mean, I don't know what a walrus is going to do with money, but all right. Just saying. Oh. Here we go. Yeah. They're having the Battle Royal right now. Jinder Mahal is winning the Battle Royal. Either that or Apollo Crews is winning it.
I think it's going to be Braun. He's got to promote his new car toy and his new figure.
What's up, Beersy?
Hey, Beersy, how you doing, buddy?
Are we gonna have a fucking This Is Your Life fucking segment again? So they have 2 hours left on this show, and they top loaded this fucking show. The first hour hasn't been bad, but I fear what's coming in the last 2. This segment here just happened. It's for those that prematurely like to prematurely ejaculate. That's what that segment was. Stupid. See you later, Cody. Bobbit, you shove jelly beans in your asshole. Interesting.
Are you sure that's just not poop? Poop shaped like jelly beans?
It's true. What do y'all think of the show so far?
It's kind of lackluster.
It's okay.
Flaming poop emoji.
It's a flaming what?
Poop emoji.
Oh, so now we can talk about poop.
I just said poop emoji.
You just mentioned the word poop, though.
And then you're talking about shoving jelly beans up your ass.
Just saying. Choose your words carefully.
The Iconics are currently trending, saying that they're going to be winning on Sunday.
They say they're going to win every fucking week and then never fucking do. It's the way that match ended. It's going to be Nia Jackson to me.
That's who I'm thinking.
I thought you said this wasn't going to be a match.
They had removed the listing that said it was going to be a match.
You're fired. Card subject to change. Remember that.
Yeah, Trent.
You're going to speak up, Bobby, because nobody can hear you.
Come.
The broken freaking neck. I can go without the Lady Gaga fucking music, though.
I will say the autobiography book about him that goes into a lot of detail with his personal history and demons was really good to read.
What is it? The 24 thing on fucking the network is actually pretty good, too. But yeah, I've heard that it's a really good book. I don't read books, so. Books, I lose interest in books.
I've always been a nerd when it comes to that. It's like when I get the new orders at the library, it's just like, okay, what can I take out first?
Bobbit, you're wrong. WWE did not call you.
God, I can smell those jelly beans all the way over here.
I fucking love fucking licorice jelly beans. Just said. Speak for yourself there, fucktard. Whatever. I would say Corbin sucks. I think Corbin's been underutilized. He's been booked incorrectly, Sarah. He doesn't suck. He's trying his best to tell this. He's doing his best. But I'm pretty sure Baron Corbin will tell you, yes, he's honored to be facing Kurt Angle, but I think he would honestly probably say, yeah, I think John Cena would probably be the likely candidate for that last match.
He was another one they built up and were looking to push, and then once he won that Andre the Giant trophy, his career just took a nosedive.
That just tells me Kurt Angle's losing his last match. You know how WWE is. All right. That's one thing. That was one change that I forgot to mention. They aren't doing the Raw Tag Team title. I mentioned it on Friday. They aren't doing the Raw Tag Team titles. They're doing it tonight instead of at WrestleMania.
Yeah, because I don't even think the Usos have a match. I think they're in the Battle Royal.
Yes, they are.
What's up, TSS?
I think he's been here for a while, man.
Oh, cool. I just got back to the chat because I was charging my stuff.
Oh, okay. They didn't really do anything with the tag team division. They were more worried about the Kofi Kingston match than anything. So they're really, that I can understand. But, whatever.
Yeah, I just saw that picture you posted in the one chat, Heather, with her sleeping.
She woke up now.
Nope, she's awake.
Yeah, it doesn't look like she's feeling good with those cheeks that flush.
The entire house hasn't been feeling good. Johnny Sinister is facing Aliester Black. Okay. Interesting. Hey, Bobbit, you can speak. I mean, you can try to speak. Can you? Hold on. Okay. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Do you have the mic up to your mouth?
Yeah, why?
That now I can hear you. It's because you're so far away from your damn computer that we can't hear you. And that's why you sound like you're cutting out. So go ahead. You have some matches to announce. Go ahead.
One of them is the WWE just called me, and they want Angle match against Captain Fanta. So that's the main event of the Mania.
Okay.
Also, apparently, and now they're gonna have a match together.
Okay. Say that one more time. Who?
John is gonna take on Aliester Black.
Johnny is taking on Aliester Black. Anything else?
Oh,
When is Bobbit Mania, by the way? Next Friday, not this Friday, next Friday. Okay. Okay. Anything else, Bobbit? Huh?
No, that's it. Pay attention to my Twitter tonight. I'll post the full match card.
Okay. Like I said, that will be over on Bobbit's channel. He put the link in the description, or the link in the chat. If you can continue to do that instead of talking about fucking Alexa Bliss, that would be great. Try to promote your channel. I told you you could. How's it going, Reddy? I'm sorry, I didn't see you there, brother.
I'll be right back.
Thank you for the warning.
Right back.
I'm a full match at first.
What?
Full match card. First in the chat.
You started out so good. Now you're sounding like. Keep that mic close to you, because that's probably the problem. Or
I'm
disconnect.
gonna post a full match.
Or disconnect the mic.
Fuck.
Do me a favor. Listen to me. Disconnect the microphone and try that. It could be the microphone. Say something.
Oh.
Say it one more time. You're cutting out. It's your internet, man. I don't know what's wrong with your internet. I think that actually looks like it sounds like it might be a good match there, TSS.
Yeah, you can tell this Raw sucks.
What?
You can tell this Raw sucks.
I mean, this match is alright, but it's not something to write home about. So they just went to a commercial. This match is okay, but there's no. I'm just waiting in bated breath, seriously in bated breath, to hope that Aliester Black and Ricochet don't win the titles.
Yeah, I hope they don't put the titles on them.
Because then you know that it's just overkill. I said it Friday, it's overkill. It's at a commercial, so there's nothing going on. This last hour has been shit. Ever since they started out with a good thing, and then they didn't build on it. Now it's just. Just reading stuff. Sorry. Oh, I love that. He's gonna kick out of that. That was a nice fucking move by them two. It's getting some build. He's coming close to the end. He almost fucking took his own self out on that one. Are you fucking... At least they didn't take a fucking pin. It's good. I didn't mind that finish. I'm not going to lie. At least they didn't win the tag team titles.
That means they're going to win the NXT.
No, I don't think they're winning the NXT titles. They ain't going to fucking beat the War Raiders their first time. There's no way. We'll talk about that Friday. I think ultimately, somewhere down the line, these guys will win the tag team titles. It's too much overkill for them to be at 2 pay-per-views to have, for them to go into NXT with the Raw tag team titles. It's just overkill to me. The only problem I have with Ricochet, and he's very athletic, is sometimes when he does what he does, he overshoots because he's so athletic and his legs are so fucking strong that when he does that shit, he overshoots. Like the War Games match where he did that, whatever the fuck it was, I didn't care for that because he could fucking seriously hurt his fucking self. That I didn't care for that spot because he overshot everybody. But I do like his athleticism. This guy's got to coexist.
We say we're just on. Did everyone see the tweet that came out from Ciampa about being on borrowed time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did hear about that.
Oh, yeah, that's sad.
It's sad, but it's not because, somebody, it's not like Paige. The thing with Paige, it's just over time, he has taken so many bumps that his neck, he's on borrowed time. And I think with that kind of surgery, that's the exact same kind of surgery that Stone Cold had, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because he kind of starts off, he's talking about he had 3 major surgeries in a 12-week span. and
Yep.
then returned at a competitive level and didn't give himself time to heal.
Yep. Edge had same thing. They did tell him he was on borrowed time. So it's sad to say that I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's bad or that I didn't care about his character. Ciampa is okay. His heel story started out great. And then it just kind of, with all the matches with Gargano,
Kind of fizzled out.
It kind of fizzled out for me. I just quit caring about it. In fact, I almost stopped watching NXT because of it, because they were pushing them too so fucking hard that they were forgetting about everybody else.
Right.
Well, the other tweet I came across too is Fandango still on the injured reserve?
Yes.
Because I saw Tyler put out about being underutilized for the last 4 years and eventually saying to yourself, no, thank you, you're worth more.
Yeah.
Even with him, I mean, I know they put him back down in NXT for a bit, but I mean, he's another one that they underutilized. I mean, they didn't even give him a running chance when Fandango got hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of in that line with Ty Dillinger.
Yeah.
Where it looked like they were starting to push him and then giving him the matches and you were seeing them on TV and then they kind of disappeared.
Well, I mean, we talked about this on Friday with the Triple H press conference he had. And he did say, and these are not my words, these are Triple H's words, came from Fightful, from the press conference. Vince don't care about storylines down in NXT. If it fits what Vince wants to do, which I think it's going to be the same thing, it fits what they're doing with Aliester Black and those major storylines, yes, you're going to see them. It's going to be kind of hard to do it now with Tommaso Ciampa, but he don't care about Tyler Breeze down in NXT and what he did, if that makes sense. And he wanted Bobby Roode. Again, you've seen what he did with Bobby Roode.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't see Bobby Roode as a heel. I don't know why. I don't get it, but whatever. Because he would have fit that millionaire fucking gimmick. EC3, but he's a heel. Why they're treating him like a babyface, I don't know. Well, we talked about it a little bit on Friday. And again, I'm not saying that those words are coming from Triple H. But he did say, and it's not that he don't care about those storylines, it just doesn't always fit what WWE, the main roster, wants to do.
Well, and even with bringing up EC3, I mean, like we were speculating before with putting them with possibly Drew McIntyre and giving him a chance. But it's just, I mean, you saw him in the back and you saw him ooling himself up and a couple matches here and there. It's just like everybody that they've brought up that was publicized that they were going to start using. I think it's just been the two tag team guys that have been with the comedy acts that they have and the matches that they've been in that have been used more than any of the other ones. Because like I said, Nikki, you don't even see her now. And when they brought her up, they had her in with the heel matches, and then they had her with the face matches, and it's just like trying to fit her somewhere at this point. It's just like you don't know which way to go with her. And Sanity, they just reappeared, but we all know that she's not going back with Sanity. And I know that was part of the storyline in NXT, and I guess he doesn't see that she fits with that up here.
Right. With Nikki Cross, I think Nikki Cross is a byproduct of Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Ronda Rousey. I don't think it's that they don't want to use Nikki Cross. I think it's a byproduct of them three.
Right. The focus of the three, yeah.
Yeah. Which tells you what? They can only, for some reason, they can only do one woman's story at a time. And I don't know if she's the head writer, but Dana Warrior is the lead writer or is one of the writers for the women's division.
Yeah, I saw with that promotion she got. I actually did just think that was for the month of March, but it doesn't look like it's going to be with that Girl Up promotion.
Nope, they hired her full time.
Yep, I did see that. Yeah, because it was just like a temporary when I saw that she was hired, but yeah, it looks like they did give her the full contract.
Look at EC3, he's just like, fuck it. You're already backstage. They're already. Never mind. I'm done.
Well, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal surely will be interesting.
No, it fucking will not. You're talking out your ass, woman.
Who the fuck you are?
They were already backstage. That was the point I was trying to get across. So stupid. Didn't even give him a chance to respond. He's not 100% clear anymore. doing this now. Thought you said it was the main event, Bobby. They're going to blow their wad within the first hour or 2 hours of this show.
I was going to say, it's not even 10 o'clock.
What the fuck are they going to fucking do in the last hour of this fucking show? I hope to God that this is
I can't predict this shit.
You said it. You said you thought it was going to be the main event.
Close enough.
Excuse me?
Close enough.
Type it in the chat. I can't hear you. Close enough. Bob, if there's an hour and 15 minutes left, it's not close enough.
We're probably going to do something with Roman then at the end.
I hope so. I hope so.
Are we getting an Alexa Bliss moment tonight?
I hope the fuck not. I think we already got it.
Yeah.
If it was horseshoes, you'd be perfect. Fuck you talking about? No, we don't need one. We just had one. We don't need another damn segment. Zero is perfect.
What's the speculation that they're going to have the battle royals on the kickoff pre-shows?
Probably.
Yeah.
They always have.
I was wondering if the cruiserweights were going to be on that.
Yes. See, that's the thing. Everybody's like, oh, the show's going to be 8 hours. Yeah. But 3 of them are going to be fucking pre-show. Or 2 of them. Or whatever.
Yeah, because I got the alert today. It's starting at 7 on the network. At the actual start of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think someone put in the chat earlier, it's going to go to almost midnight.
Well, which is only 5 hours.
Right. Which is the norm.
So don't watch the fucking pre-show. And then it won't be 8 hours. Nobody cares about the pre-show.
Right.
Except for those that fucking like battle royals and the cruiserweights. Just saying. It's not like I can't go back and watch them. They have the kickoff shows on, you know.
The network.
I can go back and watch the matches. I can skip all the bullshit that we fucking get for fucking 6 hours or 5 hours Monday and Tuesday. They don't need a 3-hour kickoff show because ultimately it's a 3-hour fucking Raw of them talking about what happened or the culmination of the feuds, and then they don't even talk about the whole damn fucking thing. They only talk about what happened the week before.
Exactly.
Right, and then you got the panel with Shawn Michaels, and then you got Booker T and Jerry Lawler.
You know, I mean, it's a pre-show. You're not getting anything. To be honest with you, I don't even watch the damn Super Bowl pre-show. I don't. I just can do other shit and then get ready for the game. I mean, I think we started watching it like 4:30 because I actually did a live stream for the game. But
well, that's even with NASCAR. They do that half hour, 45 minutes before the races.
It's an hour. Daytona was 2 hours.
Yeah, that was. But I mean, just like the ones before, like the race this week. It was this weekend or last weekend or something. That it was just like a half hour, 45 minutes where they're walking up and down the grid. And it's just filler.
Right.
Because they're doing the acts, musical acts, and driver introductions and that.
I mean, you're gonna get Elias probably at the pre-show, but again, I don't care.
And then what's the speculation? They're saying Kevin Owens could be added to a match at WrestleMania because he's doing the Kevin Owens show tomorrow night with Randy and AJ.
The what?
That Kevin Owens show, he's going to be hosting that tomorrow with Randy and AJ. And speculation is he'd possibly be added to that match.
Right.
Ronnie, did you hear what Nikki Bella was saying now?
About coming back?
Yeah, she's already said she'd come back. I'm like, well, that was a short retirement.
Yeah.
Oh, we talked about that.
Yeah, well, I think we were on the one lap to go when I mentioned it, but it was just funny because it just coincided with the Bella's finale where she made the retirement speech on there with mom and sister at dinner or whatever. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, if the opportunity presents itself, I'd be willing to come back.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I can self-promote myself.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, fuck, The Undertaker did it. John Cena does it.
Terry Funk did it a couple of times.
Fucking Terry Funk's done it. Mick Foley's done it. It shouldn't be any different.
No.
Right, but then that goes into, well, we don't want the nostalgia acts back. If you're going to retire, retire.
No, I'm with you, but I don't want people shitting on it.
No.
You know, that don't shit on that.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
No,
I don't want to see the Bellas. Well, why not? You want to fucking see The Undertaker and all those other fucking guys. Why not?
Exactly.
Can't shit in one hand and or want in one hand and shit in the other.
I think what it boiled down to is with what she was saying in that interview where she was walking the airport, that European tour that they went on as she did it, and it just took a lot out of her with the travel and the schedule and the wrestling and then coming back, and I guess she was doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
But that just goes to show, I mean, with all the traveling that they do and, of course, her with her neck injuries and stuff like that, it takes its toll. And then, of course, you take a break and then you come back for a couple months or a couple weeks and try to do it all over again. Your body's just not used to it. And I think that's what mainly even the stuff with Roman, I mean, what his body's going through and what he's dealing with, I mean, can just imagine the toll it's taken on him after he gets out of the ring.
Right.
Because if, like everybody speculated, I mean, with the pills and stuff like that, if that's what he did, I mean, that stuff is still in your system. Or if you're still continuing taking them, but just on a, maybe not a daily dosage or a lower dosage, it's like going through regular chemo with the pills.
Exactly.
You're just taking it orally.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you were talking about like how you take time off, you come back later on. Look at what happened with Brie Bella. I mean, she came back and she was exactly ring ready. I mean, she hurt was Liv. It was an accident. I mean, but she accidentally hurt Liv Morgan.
Yeah, and then of course you have Nia in the ring, and she's been in the ring and still hurting people.
Exactly. I mean, like, I was just joking around saying that it was the shortest retirement ever, but I mean, you know, if that's what she wants to do, she can do it. We're not, who am I to judge that? But I just thought it was praise. Like, days later, she goes, oh, if the opportunity came up, okay, I've seen, you know, like you guys said, Undertaker did it, Terry Funk's done it a bunch of times, and, you know, it's wrestling. They call it sports entertainment, but it's wrestling. I mean, retirement is never final in wrestling. Unless you're Stone Cold Steve Austin, that's about it.
Well, Triple H even said that in an interview. It's just like the passion for the business. It's like you get that itch, and it's any sports, right. But you just see it more with, I guess, because we follow this a little bit more, where, I mean, even with NASCAR, I mean, you see that like Jeff Gordon got back into the car to help out Dale Earnhardt, and he's even said, I'll be retiring, Tony Stewart, and then they get back in for one lap, or they go on and do one race, or they do like a big race and stuff like that. So it's, I guess, when you have that passion for something and you've done that most of your life with any sport, I guess that's, you get, I can do this, and then you see the toll it takes on you.
Yep.
Look at Michael Jordan. You know, he retired, he went to baseball, and he came back. You know, so it's that itch. And also look at Gronkowski, who retired. Rob Gronkowski, who retired. His agent doesn't even think he's going to stay retired. He thinks he'll be back in a year. So we'll have to see about him too. So you know.
Well, I've even seen that he's possibly going to show up at WrestleMania and help out Mojo.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've seen that before with those two, and of course, you've seen his little skits talking to the mirror, so you kind of think that something's being planned there for that.
Well, I've even heard people throwing theories online that since Leo Rush name-dropped Gronkowski last week, that they think he could show up and help Finn Balor and be in his corner, so that, which remains to be seen, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. And of course, we've all heard the speculation about The Undertaker, but I just think that that's not even going to happen. I mean, I know he's booked for some stuff afterwards, but with Mania, unless that's going to be a big surprise that they've kept under wraps, which is kind of hard with WWE.
And they tried it last year, too. It's like, you know, how many times can you try the surprise thing before it gets real old and the fans just start coughing it back up and saying, we're done with it?
Yeah, and he's going to be in Vegas that Saturday. So, I mean, for him to even travel, I mean, he'd be cutting it really close depending upon where they're going to place him if they even did.
Exactly.
They might have the hologram come up with him. He's here.
For all we know, maybe it's just live via satellite promo saying I'll be in Saudi and I'll see you there, or something like that. Because he's reportedly going to be in at the Saudi Arabia event in May.
Yeah, I did hear that.
So it could just be like a way of him doing the promo saying I'm not here tonight, but I will be in a month, and I will pick it'll be something like I'll pick my opponent, you'll see me, and you won't expect me.
Yeah, the satellite gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with him living in Texas. I couldn't see him coming all the way here and then going back to Texas. He's right there in Vegas. But
exactly.
John Cena does that travel. That's one thing I always gave him credit for. He would travel that day, do something in New York, get back on a plane that afternoon, go to an event, and then leave and go back overseas.
Well, they call him the prototype, so I think he is the Terminator. So it's like he's going to run into a post one day, and his face going to come off. You're going to see the endoskeleton there, and he's like, "Oh my god!" So
shut up, Trek. That made no sense.
That's an old one that they've said for like Benoit and like Lesnar and stuff, that they were such workhorses that they weren't real. They were really cyborgs and robots and stuff. I agree, Alpha. At this point, Undertaker needs to stay away and enjoy his retirement. WWE, leave him alone. I agree. He's earned his retirement. He shouldn't have to do anything else. He doesn't need to prove anything to anybody else anymore.
Sarah Logan needs to really take over in this match. There we go. That didn't last long there with that.
Oh, baby girl.
Oh.
What's the matter?
Oh, give me a fucking come on. These fucking assholes.
At this point, I'm surprised we're getting a live SmackDown tomorrow night, because Ronnie and I were talking with Bob a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week even, that they used to just tape SmackDown right after Raw, and then it would be like a highlight show of Access. So I'm really shocked we're getting a live SmackDown this year, because they did that last year too, I think.
What are you talking about?
They're doing a live SmackDown tomorrow night, but usually they didn't used to do live ones. They used to just tape a couple matches after Raw, and then intersperse them with footage from Access, and then that was the SmackDown for the next night.
Yeah, Baltimore's right there. I mean, you're going up to Jersey.
Yeah.
Right afterward. So it really isn't that far, but yeah, I thought they were going to do the same thing like it's the holidays.
Why are they handcuffing these guys?
You see Charlotte's on the ramp.
They're handcuffing them. Why?
I have no idea.
I can't feel any intensity, Corey. There is no intent. They just put handcuffs on these people.
Now Charlotte's going to get handcuffed. Right. A real police officer is going to fucking leave their radio behind. Sure.
Michael Cole. This happened to Stone Cold Steve Austin, like, fucking all the time.
Yep.
Don't say you've never seen this before.
I agree, Ace.
I cannot disagree with you, Ace. One fucking bit. Why let them fight?
It reminds me of Larry the Cable Guy's joke that he was visiting a friend. The friend asked if he wanted to watch Cops, so they went out on his front lawn and it was a rerun.
They're putting them both in the same fucking car.
Yep.
Stupid shit. This is so dumb. Really? Really? Give me a fucking break. What the fuck kind of dumb... And the cops sitting there fucking, stop it, you two. Fucking shut up, man. This is so dumb. They put them both in the same car. Two people that were just fighting. Fucking idiots. So unrealistic. If you're gonna do it, make it real.
It's Keystone Cops.
It is. These fucking jackasses.
It is.
Where are they at?
DC. So it's probably something typical. You should just take them right to the White House.
I didn't do anything.
I want to see that TSS. I can't wait for that video.
I now have a headache.
This show cannot end soon enough.
I mean,
Wendy agrees.
absolutely. You don't put two people
That have just been fighting
fighting.
each other.
You put them in the back fucking seat with each other. All they're gonna do is start kicking at each other again. If you're gonna make it realistic, make it realistic. Don't put two people. That's how you know that they weren't real fucking cops. Fucking stupid, man. I get they're trying to tell a story, but come on. Be a little bit realistic.
And then Ronda plows into a police car. It's like, oh, great.
Well, at least they got more time than they did last week.
Well, the Briscoe brothers will have more body shop business down south.
That's true. That's true. I'm going to say this, Cody. I wouldn't call it awesome, but... Ryan, I'm doing all right.
Let's go look. Oh.
Wendy didn't like it either.
Wendy didn't like that segment. Like the hell with this.
Pretty much.
All part of being a little baby. I know it's frustrating at times.
She didn't even get her full on with the fucking knee. Her legal situation. Do you think Becky Lynch or Charlotte is going to press charges? How fucking dumb is that? See what I mean? The stories just don't add up. I don't.
Just to get the speculation, are they going to be at WrestleMania?
See, that's what they're doing, and it's like, my God.
All this promotion for the women's main event, and they're not going to be there? Nah. Try again. And I mean, it's the way this writing is. It is such a
clusterfuck mentality. You could say it's a clusterfuck.
Well, it is, but it's childlike. It's the childlike humor, the childlike story progression and lines at times. I understand why they do it, but it's frustrating for an adult.
It is. I'm lost, man.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to call it early tonight.
Okay.
Hey Johnny.
All right, Johnny. Have a good night.
Hope everything's all right, man. Have a good night.
Yep. I'll let you know later.
Okay. Here comes fucking.
And then they put up a graphic that has Ronda Rousey being on today on Thursday morning.
It just spits what we were just talking. Trek, you're like a half hour behind. I get it,
yeah,
but that's what we were just talking about.
Well, even Gina said in the one chat, she's like, how did she shift the car? Her hands are behind her back. So it's just like there's no logic there.
Well, she could have done it with her foot. She could have done it with her foot.
I'll be right back.
But needless to say, why in a real cop car, everybody, they have the cage up or a glass thing up that you can't. And the glass that she broke, not real.
Yeah.
Because they're bulletproof. There's no way she would know. There is no fucking possible fucking way to break that window. Sorry, everybody. Unrealistic. I will be right back.
It's been almost 4 hours now, and she still doesn't know how to eat.
I know. Just do what you can. Sorry, guys. As Wendy's not feeling too great. She needs cuddles.
Yep, no problem.
So.
Understandable.
But Heather put her down. I'm not going to end the show. Just Heather put her down.
Yeah, she wants mom and dad. So, it's understandable.
I'm not going to go to work tomorrow, unfortunately, because I need to. And I got my laptop here, so.
Yeah, I actually took off next Monday because I kind of figured after Sunday's show and the weekend, and I just didn't want to be exhausted. So I just said that, nope, not going to be there Monday.
I'll just sleep I'll take a nice nap on Sunday. And yeah, she's not feeling good. She's constantly crying. And
yeah, like I said, her little cheeks with them being flushed, she's fighting something, and she's got a little virus of something.
Yeah, I'm going to take her into the emergency room. I could have Heather call, say, hey, I need to bring my baby in, and we'll go from there. But I'm starting to get worried because she's constantly throwing up. I mean, it's not even spit up anymore. It's she's throwing up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she'll dehydrate quick.
Yeah. And I don't know if you can just feed her water.
The problem with that is if she does have the virus, I mean, it's going to be like the projectile vomiting because she's not going to be able to keep it in, and they would probably have to give her like a glucose serum or bag, because I think that'll just cause it with her vomiting like that and with vomiting the water that she would dehydrate quicker. And I'm surprised with the milk that it's not a sour.
That segment pumped you up, what, Cody? Really? And I'm sure he's talking about the women's segment. They could have done so much more. And that didn't pump me up for shit at all. I mean, I'm at a loss for words for that segment. I really am. It gave them more time than they did last week, but I don't know, man. And what are you sorry, not sorry about, Ryan? What is he saying sorry, not sorry about?
Unless it's about the comment with Derailed that he turned on YouTube to get our show and he saw Derailed is indefinitely canceled.
It's not even true.
Yeah, it's April 1st.
Goddamn, he's trying to. Drew can't do an April Fool's joke. Sorry, he tries, but he can't. He's almost as bad of a joke teller as Trek is. He tries.
Oh, okay. He went ahead and explained it.
What's that?
That making fun of the fact that you say that sometimes. You said sorry a few minutes ago, and then he was like, sorry, not sorry. So
okay,
that's where it came in. Because you kept apologizing about it.
I usually say sorry, not sorry when I'm talking about the Becky Lynch fucking storyline. Because I like sorry, not sorry, because I can, people can sit there and say, well, you need to care about it, and I'm like, I don't. Sorry, not sorry. I don't care about Becky Lynch right now. In fact, to be honest with you, I don't even give a fuck about the feud. They have ruined it, and it's main eventing WrestleMania, and they give us that. So what's going to happen tomorrow night? Because we know Ronda's not going to be on SmackDown. This feud is just. Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan probably would put more butts in the seats right now than that match. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm at a loss for words, I guess you could say. Uh-oh. Hey, the Brewers won again. Brew Crew, baby. You're good, Ryan. I'm not criticizing you. I'm just explaining why I say sorry, not sorry all the time. I get it. It was. I was just trying to figure out why you were saying sorry, not sorry. If somebody said something in the chat or whatever. So you're good, Ryan. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, we were speculating because we weren't sure.
You do not have to apologize for anything. You didn't do anything wrong. I was just trying to figure out why you were saying sorry, not sorry. Do my evaluation for work too. I gotta put my comments and shit in there. Sucks. Brewers won 4-3. Brewers have started the season JP's comments. You're all assholes. What? Speaking of through the stomach, man, I'm fucking still hungry. I think I'm gonna go check on Wendy. I know Heather's got her, but I'll be right back, guys. Ronnie or Trek, one of you guys go ahead and continue conversation.
I think Trek walked away.
Yeah, but he's well, god damn it. Okay, Ronnie, we'll carry on the conversation with yourself.
I'll take over. But you can come back on if you want, if your mic's working.
Am I good now?
I can hear you now. We'll see how long it lasts.
I'm off fucking luck. Not that long.
Yeah, because as soon as you start talking, it does cut in and out. Oh, Ryan, you should go ahead and put that on your card. That'd be hilarious.
What is it, a giant dick?
It's a bumper sticker. He says, proud to be an asshole.
That's Jake Small.
We still got a half hour for this show to go.
Yeah.
Green shirt guy's there.
I don't give a fucking shit about the green shirt guy. The green shirt guy can straight fuck off. Oh,
But
fuck. I come
about
back.
you.
That's right. They were fucking doing the Braun Strowman shit.
Yeah.
Look at, okay, so you see what they're doing where they got the actual superstars, where they got Colin Jost and the other fucking yahoo, the forefront with Braun Strowman. So that just tells you that the goddamn fucking battle royal is about those three. It's not even about a battle royal. It's about those three. Put them in a fucking match alone, separate from the fucking battle royal. Make the battle royal about the guys inside the fucking ring, not just fucking three fucking people. It's so dumb. I get what WWE's trying to do, but
yeah, they could have had him.
They used to make, like when Mike Tyson showed up, they didn't make the fucking show about that match about Mike Tyson. It was about Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels. Mike Tyson just brought the star power for that match. Got eyes on the match. But no, they make these two fucking jackasses that are on Saturday Night Live that aren't even fucking funny, by the way, and put them on the forefront of this match when they have so much fucking talent in that fucking ring at that time. Focus on the talent, not the fucking three jackasses that are supposedly the story. Give them a separate fucking match.
Right, because like people were even saying, I mean, bring Nicholas back, make it a tag team match. Even though it'd be gimmicky, but you don't use Nicholas to the very end to do the pin, and you've got Braun in there against them too.
I would not be against that. I'm not lying to you. I would not be against what Ronnie just said.
I mean, you could even just did Braun, like you said. I mean, the two of them don't have a chance against each other. It would be a squash, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure Nicholas is on spring break.
Well, his dad's a referee with WWE.
Yeah, I'm sure he's there.
I hope everybody understands why I'm so frustrated with the storytelling in this. The Battle Royal. I don't give a shit about the Battle Royal because I already know who it's about. It's not about the other how many ever superstars they have in there. It's about fucking Braun Strowman and the two fucking morons that are from Saturday Night Live, who again are not even fucking funny. Saturday Night Live is a shit show. Nobody watches it anymore because it's not funny.
Well, and even with the gimmick with the car, where he destroyed that car, that was all for which the next day was Mattel put out the Wreck-It slamming car, which was his car and his figure, which he did an unboxing for today. And that was all just to promote that.
See, WWE doesn't fucking care about the fucking storylines. They only care about fucking making money. That's sad. This is pathetic, what they just fucking did. If you paid any attention to that fucking little graphic down there at the bottom, and I don't know who's all watching. I know some of you don't watch it because you're just WWE. Look, the wrestling's gotten better. The storytelling's gotten a little better. But some things that they do, they're still more worried about the fucking money than they are the storytelling. And that's what pisses me off. Big time. I mean, they need to use the Battle Royal to be like, whoever wins this Battle Royal gets a #1 contender shot at a future, at any title they want or whatever, at any match, whatever. The Intercontinental title, the fucking US title, the Universal title, the WWE title.
Right. Yeah, but since that's been implemented, I mean, it's gone nowhere with anybody. I mean, it seems like whoever wins it gets destroyed in their push, or they go nowhere with it.
But that's what I'm getting at. They should make it about something. It shouldn't just be a match to be a match to get everybody on the fucking show. Make something of it. Make whoever wins this match is the #1 contender for the WWE title, whatever. Hey Paige, how's it going?
Just like a little contract that you can use this at any time within this time period.
The Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
exactly.
Which personally I think should be at fucking WrestleMania, not a pay-per-view of its own. They should bring back, I mean, I'm not a fan of King of the Ring, but King of the Ring would be a good pay-per-view. And you could do a Battle Royal there of some kind. And the winner of this match goes on to SummerSlam. That's where you can do the Battle Royal. Is it King of the Ring? Call it the King of the Ring Battle Royal. There we go. You don't even have to have Andre the Giant. Whoever wins this match is the King of the Ring and gets a #1 title shot of their choosing. I just booked the Battle Royal for you. Main event. You have two Royal Rumbles in a sense. One's a King of the Ring and one's a fucking Royal Rumble. Why it's called the Royal Rumble, I don't know. Oh, because it's a Battle Royal. Okay, never mind. I know. There's nothing royal about it. Well, they still get their title match. It's just not a main event title match. It's not the main event. Now, ultimately, the match we're getting Sunday for the main event is the main event, or the Royal Rumble winner is in the main event. However, I still don't give a shit because it's not a singles match. It's a triple threat. This guy sucks. I feel bad because he's really good talent, too.
Yeah, sad thing is I forgot about these two even being on the show.
Well,
But
Finn Balor's there.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. See, he's bringing the demon gimmick out.
And this makes no sense either.
No.
I mean, it does, but it
really doesn't, because he only brings the demon out when it's called out, or because...
He just called it out.
Because of the fact that he can't beat them as the man.
He can't. He's never beat Bobby Lashley.
He beat him for the title.
Not by himself. It was because Lio Rush fucked up that he lost. He's never beaten Bobby Lashley. I get it, but I get... Heather, let me rephrase this. I get what you are saying. However, he really did beat Bobby Lashley on his own. Lio Rush inadvertently helped him. So yes, he actually called out the demon. I get what Heather's saying. She is right. However, you can counter that argument, I guess, with what I just said.
Am I putting you in your swing, or do you want to go to daddy?
You want to sit here for a minute, baby girl? Mm-hmm. You want to sit here?
With daddy.
Come here. What are you kicking me for? Quit kicking me. Well, okay, so if you've ever heard what Johnny said, and I'm pretty sure you have, Ryan, did you watch Wrestle Kingdom before you watched? Well, no, because I'm sorry, if you were to watch the match between Nakamura and Styles at WrestleMania first, you still would have been like, huh? This is a WrestleMania match? And then went and watched Wrestle Kingdom, you probably would have said, why didn't they do that at WrestleMania? See, that's the thing. The match, I can agree with you on that. It didn't live up to the hype.
Hey, little Wendy.
Yeah. Okay, well then that's probably the reason why you didn't like the WrestleMania match. But I still, to this day, and I will make this argument, could make this argument that if you watch the WrestleMania match, and I always forget to explain this when I have this debate with Johnny, if you watch the WrestleMania match first, you still would be like, meh, it was okay. It wasn't great. And then you go watch Wrestle Kingdom, and then you'll be like, why didn't they fucking do this at WrestleMania? They're capable of doing it, and it only happened 3 years ago. So, I mean, or 3 or 4 years ago, or whatever. But, yeah. So, I always forget to bring that argument up and I shouldn't say argument. My argument for the debate when I debate Johnny with it. So yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing too, and like for you, myself, Johnny, and Heather, with watching it longer than Bobbitt, and well, even including Truck with that, this Dave Batista Triple H, we saw the hype and we saw the beginning stages with that way back when, and then how this one's been built, where Bobbitt's excited to see it and we're not, because we've already seen it, and then the way that this was built up, especially tonight with him coming out and just basically saying, kiss my ass. I mean, that really is not a lead up to a storyline, which after WrestleMania, he's going to be gone to start filming Guardians of the Galaxy again. So
right.
It's one and done. Triple H is not going to lose his career. We kind of already know and speculated, but it's just none of the hype that everybody's expecting from what we've seen in the past. And it's just anybody that they bring back or come back to this. And with Styles and Nakamura, I mean, they were in their prime and they were in Japan, and it's just they're limited to certain things with WWE on what they can and can't do, and that is kind of like a deflator for a lot of us.
Yeah, I mean, look, the build to Triple H and Batista, the build, the WrestleMania 21 was better than this. Tenfold.
Yeah, this
because
is really
there was a story behind it. Right. There is no fucking story. The only story there is that Triple H has never beat Batista. That's what Batista keeps saying. But hold on a second. Has Batista ever lost to Triple H?
Yeah.
So the story in itself is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, not sorry. There's that tagline again. For everybody that wants to see that match, the story is dead. Because it don't work. Because Batista has lost to Triple H.
The way they were building this was, oh, you didn't call me back. I wanted one last run and you ignored me. It's childish and high school stuff.
It's stupid. It makes no sense. You can be excited to see it, Bobbitt, but I'm just being straight up honest with you. You cannot honestly sit there and fucking tell me that this is one of the great stories for WWE right now. Because it's absolute bullshit. There's been nothing. Triple H is the only reason that this match is going to be even fucking worth watching.
I think it more for Bobbitt, and I'm speaking maybe out of text here with you, Bobbitt, if I'm wrong, but Bobbitt being the youngest and not seeing these guys unless he goes back to the network, it's a big thing to this generation that's watching it, or the next generation that's watching it. It's stars' names that they know, and it's like they're expecting big things out of it, and they're not going to get it. We already know they're not going to get it because we've already seen them in their prime. We've seen the storyline built up to it. And for today's fans, they're fine with these storylines that lead to them coming back or lead to someone returning. And maybe I'm wrong if that's how Bobbitt's feeling on it, but I know he likes Triple H. I know he wants to see the match. And that just could be just because of the generation gap.
Okay. How long have you been watching, Bobbitt? Oh, shit. Give me a second.
So he's saying 96. And see, I kind of
So you can't You can't tell me that you have never seen them two wrestle. How in the hell are you able to miss that? There's no way. I know you've seen it. Why do you want? You can't tell me you're excited to see that. If you've seen that, if you've watched since 1996, doesn't have to be a fucking pay-per-view. That's what I'm trying to get at.
The other thing is, too, see, Austin's only 3 years younger than him. And Austin is the same way. I mean, his feeling is the same as what Bobbitt is. He wants to see this. He wants to see the Iconics. He was the same with, trying to think who the other one was that we had a dispute about. And it's just because where he started versus where I started, it's always been that contention of, look, I've already seen it. This is not worthy of what they performed back in the 80s, where he could go back to the network and watch it. But it's new to him in an aspect of he's never seen, unless he goes back to the network, the matches. He never got to see like the build up of how they did things, unless he went and watched pay-per-view to pay-per-view to pay-per-view to see like Rock and Stone Cold, Austin and Vince McMahon and stuff like that, to go back into that history.
Okay. So with that being said, with what Ronnie just said, if you want to go back and watch the build to WrestleMania 21, which is where they had their first match. Now, I'm being straight up honest with you. And speaking of that, we have Canadian Basement on the call. How's it going, man?
I don't know. Speaking of straight up honest. Just do me.
Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with that feud. If you're going to watch the build up to that feud, go back and watch it before WrestleMania 21. And I'm telling you right fucking now, the build to WrestleMania 21 is tenfold, 100 times better. And if you think it's not, I don't know what the fuck you're watching. The feud build to WrestleMania 21 was great. The match was mediocre at best. Triple H carried that entire fucking match. The whole match. Batista got his spots in, but it was more or less Batista walking around punching Triple H, and Triple H doing all the fucking hard work. That's a Triple H Batista match.
I don't remember a good Batista match.
See? That's the thing. Batista's not that great of a worker. I mean, he's not bad, but he's not that great.
I think he was better in the factions.
Yes, because his talents were hidden. Because he's shit. Out of those four that were in that faction, Batista was the least talented. And is the least talented. To this day. In their prime. You can't tell me that Ric Flair wasn't the best at what he did. Batista was never the best at what he did. He was just there, and Batista's ultimately right. Batista was just there for muscle.
Yeah. He was a weightlifter wrestler.
Because Jim Cornette will fucking tell you, Batista would only work when it fit what he wanted to do. He's lazy and worthless. He only worked when he wanted to. Not because he wanted to. He doesn't give a fuck about the fans. He only cares about himself. Jim Cornette even said that in a shoot that he talked about. Because he worked for Jim Cornette down in Ohio, or OVW, when he was there. So, I I'm sorry, but that's why I don't give a shit about fucking Batista Triple H. There's nothing to it. If you've seen it once, and if you've seen it once, it doesn't matter what match it is. You're going to see the same fucking thing. Except this time, they're almost 50. Both of them.
I can't wait for it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, when you turn 50, you don't move as spry as you were when you were in your 30s. I can vouch for that.
I'm sorry, Bobbit, but I'm just giving you straight up what a guy like me that has watched that feud, with the feud build that they've had here, I'm not excited for it at all.
Well, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be a couple of cool entrances.
That's it. It's WrestleMania is all about. What is everybody always fucking talking about at fucking WrestleMania? They're always talking about, oh, what's the stage gonna look like? Are they gonna have fucking pyro? They don't give a shit what happens inside of the fucking ring. And you can't tell me any fucking different. Sorry, not sorry. I know you like that stuff, and that's fine. But here's the thing, Bobbit. That's not what it should be about. It should be about what happens inside of the ring. Because no matter what fucking Vince McMahon says, it's still wrestling. You still need to have wrestling. Why do you have it in your fucking title if you're not going to use it? It's not World Entertainment. It's World Wrestling Entertainment. The focus of your shows should be about wrestling, not whether or not somebody can talk on the fucking mic. I don't give a fuck.
Well, that's the thing, too. If it's focused on entertainment, other shows do it better.
Exactly. I'm sorry, it sounds like I'm yelling at Bobbit, but I'm trying to get him to understand that this feud, this match, is not going to be as good as he wants it to be.
It depends on what he wants it to be, right?
He thinks it's going to. He thinks it's going to
For
be.
me, it won't.
He thinks it's going to be the best thing on the fucking show. So he thinks Batista Triple H is going to be the best thing on the show.
But it's also, I guess, what he gets out of wrestling probably isn't the same as what I get, which won't be the same as what you get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's how he's perceiving it. Like I use the example with my son Austin. I mean, he's 19, so what he's perceiving as going to be a great match is not something I would perceive when we sit here and watch it at times, because I'll say this is going to be horrible, or this just didn't meet the expectation or the hype, and he thinks it's great.
Let's hope it surprises all of us.
I am for that. I hope it does, but from what I have seen and from what I have watched, not gonna go into it like, oh, I gotta go jerk off now. This is gonna be that match. No, not gonna do it.
I hope that's not the match.
I'm not gonna do it. I mean, the fucking Becky Ronda fucking Charlotte thing, that made no fucking sense. None. I don't know if you've seen it or not. Tonight.
I didn't see anything. I haven't seen jack shit.
Okay, so they have.
I heard
match.
one thing from you. I put on my YouTube, and I was listening to you on the way home. And when you're like, "Why are they putting them in the same car? They just fought each other."
It's so dumb. I mean, make it realistic. You're gonna arrest them now. Now the big story is: are they gonna make it to WrestleMania? Are they not going to? Give me a fucking break.
They've got money. They're out of jail.
I know. It's so dumb. They make it sound like Vince McMahon puts all this backing, says they're going to main event, and then they're not going to show up. Do you think Vince McMahon wouldn't bail them out? Come on.
Yeah, you have to be living blissfully ignorant to ever believe any of that.
That's why I don't.
Or even close to it.
It don't make sense. But essentially, what happened inside the ring is Ronda Rousey ended up tapping out Liv Morgan. Becky Lynch then cheap-shotted Ronda Rousey. Becky Lynch got arrested. Then Ronda Rousey cheap shotted Becky or something like that, and Ronda got arrested. Then they started kicking at each other and whatever inside the ring, you know, because, well, first things first, they beat the shit out of, you know, the Indies guys in the black shirts, the security crew, beat the shit out of all 15 of them, all 3 of them. And then they fucking did the cops came out. That's when they got arrested. Again, the cops came out. They started beating up on the cops while they got arrested. Then Ronda hit Becky after she was whatever. I can't remember. Because I stopped paying attention after a while. I really did. And then they went to the backstage. Well, Charlotte cheap shotted Ronda. She got arrested. So they're all in handcuffs kicking at each other. And then they were backstage kicking at each other. And 15 cops couldn't hold back 3 women that are 130 pounds apiece.
Yeah, I mean,
come on, man. I mean, if you're gonna do something like that, make it realistic. I don't understand. And why are they getting arrested? It's a fucking wrestling match.
At least have security, like, take them out with them.
Stupid.
You can't fight in the middle of the ring. Not allowed.
The next thing you know, they don't have enough women to do the separation thing. So, you know, they can't come out there and stop them guys from fighting because they'll all get beat the fuck up. Because there's only like 5 of those people. So, come on, man. And then the Ronda, which is, it can be done. She got into, the cars were running. She didn't start the cars. The cars were running. So then she got into the front seat. Like, how in the fuck did she get in the front seat? You know, because usually on cop cars, at least in the United States, they have a barrier in between the front seat and the back seat. Then she kicked out a window, which in itself is fucking you can't do because it's supposed to be fucking bulletproof. Which you couldn't even break it with a baseball bat.
Yeah,
so what makes you think Ronda Rousey's going to break
car.
it with her feet? What's that?
Try kicking out a window on a regular car.
Yeah, you break your fucking foot.
Yeah.
So, and then they finally got all, and then they put Becky and Ronda in, or was it Becky and Ronda, or was it Sharp? Yeah, it was Ronda and Becky in the back seat of the same car. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You just had 2 people beating the shit out of each other, and you put them in the back of the same fucking car. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to start kicking at each other. What the fuck are you doing? Don't make any fucking sense. That makes about as much sense as putting me in a fucking car with a
midget.
A midget. I'd punt that motherfucker. Even if he didn't do anything to me, I'd punt that motherfucker. Don't put me in the back seat with a midget. I'd try to get out of the fucking car, number one. I probably would be able to break the fucking window then. But, I mean, come on, man. And that was the end of it. Now they're 3 minutes from the end of the show, and now we're just sitting here. Why didn't they build the show around those 3? It's the main event. So stupid.
What's happening right now?
Baron Corbin's wrestling Rey Mysterio.
Oh, good lord.
Oh my god, Rey Mysterio's deep 6. Oh yeah, Rey Mysterio, you really taught him a lesson. Come on, man. They aren't going to beat Baron Corbin heading into WrestleMania. And then they did
Michael Cole.
Then they did the fucking segment with fucking Seth Rollins and fucking Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar got a fucking curb stomp. So we know that fucking Brock Lesnar's not losing.
Nor should he.
Nor should he, and I agree. Kurt Angle, I think, is gonna lose his match. It's gonna be a heel. It's gonna be a heel WrestleMania. I think. I think it's gonna be a lot of heels winning at WrestleMania. Because it's WWE. I'm sorry, everybody loves Kurt Angle. I love Kurt Angle too. But how often? I mean, you look at The Undertaker. Supposed to be his last match. Did he win his?
Like you said too. I mean, the focus has been the Kofi, and Kofi getting the big win. So that's going to be, I guess, the big where the one face just.
Yeah, it'll be like the feel-good moment of the night.
The one that actually has had the build and the storyline to go with it.
Right. I agree 100%. This was better than last. Raw was better than last week. It's because we had conversation, though. I do like, in summary, I do like, look at this stupid shit. Here, let's put them in the back seat of the car and let them kick the shit out of each other before they go to jail. So dumb. And then Ronda Rousey getting the fucking knee tipped by Charlotte. Everybody's like, oh, she no-sold it. She didn't even get all of it. I mean, she barely even hit her. Hey, Dory, how's it going? Yes, it was an odd go-home show. I was not impressed at all. Sucked. The build to the go-home show was terrible. I have nothing to add. I do like, at the beginning of the show, they did announce that it will be winner take all for the main event, though. There's so much, we talked about that at Lightem on Friday. So we can debunk everything else. Thank God, Johnny, what he told us, and it wasn't him. Again, it wasn't him that told us that. They're actually winner take all. So whoever wins, no matter who it is, whoever wins both titles. Which essentially is telling me that they're going to unify the women's division. Which they ultimately, we talked about this, which is what they need to do it. They ultimately need to do it. Other than that, I don't have anything to add. I know that you wanted to jump on the call so we could catch you up, Basement. Do you want
you can catch me up afterwards. That's all good. I don't want you to go over the same shit you've been talking about all night on air.
No, that's fine. Did Dory want to be added to the call? If she does, she can. Oh God. Is this the Ms. and Mrs.?
No, that's tomorrow night. I mean, they might be doing the rehash tonight. Yeah, they're doing the one, I guess, tonight.
Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna get the final thoughts of everybody here. I'm gonna start. I know Bobbitt. Did you want to add? I know Heather's been busy. She's been watching the show, but she's also been paying attention to Wendy. I'm going to get her thoughts. She hasn't talked all night. Did you want to add anything, Heather?
There's really nothing to add. For a go-home show, it was not what it should be.
Well, I never got your thoughts, and I know your thoughts, but why don't you tell everybody what you think about what they did at the beginning of the show? What Stephanie McMahon announced.
I've been having an argument with somebody on Twitter about that all fucking night, actually. They sat there, and they're basing their theory that Fox is demanding that only SmackDown stars be involved with Fox. They don't want anything to do with Raw superstars.
Okay.
Okay. You realize then that's going to leave a championship off of SmackDown. Yep. I.e., women's tag titles.
Yep.
This dumb asshole decided to sit there and say, well, it's if you unify the women's title, then you would have the same women going for it over and over again. But then, in the very next tweet, this idiot sat there and said, well, they could make a second set of tag titles. Motherfucker, you not realize what you just complained about.
People today, man, they try to justify everything. Are you done? Do you have anything else?
Yeah.
And thank you for taking care of Wendy. She's not feeling good, but she's still awake. We've been able to get her to go to sleep early lately, but not tonight, I don't think. She's not feeling too well. I'm honestly not feeling the most glorious, but what? Okay, I'm going to get Bob. Can you talk yet or no? Or you can type your thoughts in the chat.
I don't know, Ken.
There you go.
I don't know. How do I sound?
You sound fine. Go ahead. If you have something to say, say it. Whatever the fuck you want to say.
I thought it was an okay show. Wasn't the best show ever, but it was all right.
Okay. Well, what do you think? And your final thoughts. I don't know if we got them because we couldn't hear you. Since we can hear you now, what do you think about them unifying the titles?
I think it's a good idea because that's more gold for Alexa to go after.
Oh, shut up about it. See, this is why... What a dumbass. Fuck Alexa Bliss. I'm going to continue to say it. Right in her fucking eye socket. Anyway.
I would.
Gonna have to. Trek, what about you?
It was okay. I mean... The last Raw before WrestleMania should be an event, and it didn't feel like that. It just felt like they were just trying to rush to the finish line, and especially that god-awful police segment with the 3 women from the main event. It's just, you're kicking the shit out of windows, you're kicking the shit out of each other, you drive the car into another cop car. Just, what the fuck? Like you said earlier, at least they got the Briscoe brothers some business, I guess. But
okay,
still, it's like
really, you had to say that. That is like a shitty joke. But anyway, anything else?
No, it just felt like that they rushed everything, and the tag team title match just felt, I understood why. But still.
Well, I'm glad that they didn't fucking put the titles on Ricochet and Aliester Black. Because, like I said, it's overkill. It is overkill. Right. They didn't take a pin. They got counted out because of some shady bullshit by the heel team. I mean they used to do that back in 1988.
Oh yeah.
If a team, a lot of the face teams, if you have the network, go back and watch. Like the Midnight Express, man, one of the best tag teams in the world. If you've ever seen them work, it's so great. Bobby Eaton, Stan Lane, or Dennis Condrey, whoever was part of the Midnight Express, some of the greatest work you could see inside the ring. But they would pull some shady shit, and it didn't burn, it didn't hurt the faces losing like that. If you had a strong face team like Aliester Black and Ricochet, you can't pin them clean in the middle of the ring because who's going to interfere in that match?
Right.
So by them doing what they did, I didn't mind it.
No, that's a good point. I had seen, ironic because he's going to the Hall of Fame this year. I remember it was Honky Tonk Man versus Ricky Steamboat, and to keep his belt, that Honky Tonk Man kept pulling on the apron to make sure he got counted out.
And Dory or Vintage Dream said exactly the perfect thing. As Bobby Heenan always said, it's only cheating if you get caught.
Yeah.
So, but again, wouldn't call it cheating. It was a tag team match. Being shady, that's a different thing. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Cheating, it's kind of cheating. Basement, what do you think about the news? And Johnny was here. He said he had to take off. I already got his thoughts. What do you think about, and we talked about this on Friday, but now that the announcement is made that it's winner take all for the main event, so whoever wins both titles. That's what they said.
It had to happen, in all honesty. It's just the only thing I'm confused about, and I think I said this on the last time we talked too, was if the women's division is unified and the rest of the show is not, it becomes kind of confusing.
Right, and that's ultimately what I think they're going to do, to be honest with you.
Get rid of the brand split altogether?
Well, at least for the women right now. And then they're going to start waning away from the... Because, look, people could sit here and say that Fox doesn't want all the same superstars that Raw has. Well, if you do that, you got to remember... Raw is the flagship of the WWE. It is their A show. So you don't want Ronda Rousey. You don't want Roman Reigns. You don't want Seth Rollins. You don't want Braun Strowman. Are you fucking stupid, Fox? And if WWE doesn't want to do that, WWE, you fucking stupid. Do you want to get viewership? Because you get on Fox, you'll get viewership.
This is why, there's no point in having that conversation until WWE comes out and says this is what's happening.
Right.
Everybody's gonna speculate forever, but then it might as well be like debating a conspiracy theory. You're just fucking pissing in the wind.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, I'm speculating. I don't believe in conspiracy. I ultimately think that they are going to do it with the way that they've been doing things, because they've had people jump and do shows on other... I think they're going away from the brand split. Samoa Joe was on Raw last week. And then who was on SmackDown the week after to face Kurt Angle?
AJ Styles.
It was AJ Styles, but he's on SmackDown. Well, Kurt Angle was on Raw coming over to SmackDown. Well, no, I already said that. He came to Raw. Kurt Angle came over to SmackDown to wrestle AJ Styles.
Yes.
So...
The only other superstars that came over from SmackDown were the Iconics to face Sasha Banks and
right.
Sasha and all of them in that April tag.
Does anybody? Thank you. Does anybody have anything that they would like to add? Bobbit, I know you want to fucking yell at me about fucking Triple H, and you might as well do it now. Get it out of your system. You got nothing to say? That's what I thought.
I got a quick. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Bob.
He cut out. He cut out again. But go ahead. Go ahead. Basement.
Why don't they just, instead of officially doing a brand split and a draft and shit like that, why don't they just do an unofficial split, you know? Have a lot of guys, the same guys and women show up on Raw and SmackDown, like Raw or SmackDown. And, you know, you don't have to fucking officially have a difference in roster, but you can differentiate enough so that people know, you know, it's been months since we saw Samoa Joe on Raw. He's mainly on SmackDown. And who knows, maybe I'll cross over, but having it official kind of fucks it all up.
Right.
They basically do that anyway now, so.
Right. Right. All right. Well, that being said, I'm going to end the stream here. You guys have a great night, and we will talk to you tomorrow for SmackDown. The go home show where apparently Randy Orton will be 39 years and 1 day old. Like, I give a fuck. I could give a shit that it's Randy Orton's fucking birthday today. Who cares?
Hey, it's 364 more days to the big 4-0.
Yeah, well, I remember my 40th. It was, I don't remember that night, but I remember the next day, and it was not glorious. It was almost as bad as that night I drank an entire bottle of Cherry Doctor. So
Randy Orton's gonna dislocate his shoulder by blowing out his candles.
He's gonna dislocate his jaw. But anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna end the stream here, guys. I want to thank everybody for showing up or being here tonight. Johnny, I hope everything is all right. DM me, let me know what's going on. We're thinking about you. I will talk to everybody. Like I said, we'll talk to everybody again tomorrow night as Wendy is blowing raspberries. Have a good night, everybody. Fuck Triple H Batista.